Venice, Italy renowned as historic canals and attitude to face a severe storm and left significant damage in its wake. On Saturday, a powerful storm system moved through the region behind the heavy rain, strong winds and high tides that resulted widespread flooding across the city. The storm is the latest in a series of extreme weather events and have increasingly impacted Venice, raising concerns about the city undoubtedly with the winston of effect of climate change. The storm began early in the morning, with the intense rainfall of quickly overwhelming the city drainage system. By midnight, large portions of Venice were submerged underwater. The rising water reached level not seen signs in forms. Acqua Alta event of 2019 St. Mark's Square, a central landmark, was particularly hard hit with the water level rising about a meter, submerged the square, flooding nearby shops and businesses. Local authorities have anticipated the high tides and activated the most flooded barriers drainage to protect Venice in such events. However, the barrier provided infrastructure against the storm intensity. Major experienced frustration note that while most systems mitigate some damage, and the clear of adaptation means sure to need to protect the city in the future. It is a wake-up all. The most protect is not enough on its own. We must continue investing in infrastructure to protect Venice from the increasing threat to climate change. Residents and tourists alike were caught off guard when the severity of the storm. Many of themselves wanted to keep deep water in some sinking refuge in higher ground with the fountain or winning the upper floor on building. Emergency services were deployed to assist and standard floodwaters and temporary shelters were set up to enable refuge to homes. The economic impact of the storm is expected to be significant. Venice relief covered tourism and flooding disruption businesses operation with many shops and restaurants suffering damage on their property and inventory. Cultural landmarks including museums, historic buildings and also a risk when the water seep on a low area level causes concern among the preservationists. Venice inquired geography on the intentional the curve may be particularly vulnerable of flooding. The city built of networks, Canal Low-Lie Island, is naturally suspendable at high tides. However, the frequency of severe and these events have increased in recent years, a phenomenon attributed to climate change of rising sea levels. Experts warning without the significant action, Venice is facing more severe flooding in the future. Environmental action, the situation of Venice is stuck reminding of the broader impact of climate change. What we are seeing in Venice is not isolated events. It's part of global patterns of extreme weather events, becoming more frequent and severe. In the aftermath of the storm, Italian government has plunged additional resources in the recovery of enhanced flooding protection measures. Prime Minister Venice on Sunday promising swift action to support those affected to improve city defense against the future storm. Venice begins to adjust to recovery. Storm severe a poignant reminder of city's fragile relationship with the future. The resilience of determination of residents converted to force from the authority to international community will be critical to ensure the historic and the wasteland challenges posed by the changing climate. A violent storm struck the capital Friday evening, brought torrential rain, powerful winds, and hailstorms. The sudden and severe weather has caused widespread disruption across the city, leaving significant damage to infrastructure, flooding in several neighborhoods, and power outage affected thousands of residents. The storm, which began around 6 p.m., quickly overwhelmed the city drainage system. Streets in central Rome, including historic areas around the Colosseum and Roman Forum, were transformed into rivers within the minutes. Videos circulated on social media showed cars submerged in water, with some vehicles swept away by the force of current. Public transportation was severely impacted, with the numerous roads suspended into metro lines experiencing delays and temporary closure. Rose Major Roberto Calteri has urged residents to avoid unnecessary travel to stay indoors while facing to extraordinary weather events that caused significant disruption and damage. Our emergency services are working tirelessly to mitigate the situation to assist those in need. Emergency services have been inundated with calls, responded to numerous incidents to flooding, fallen trees and structure damage. The fire brigade has responded to hundreds invitations throughout the evening and night, and many teams still working to clear debris and restore access to affected areas. Power outage have compounded the difficulty several districts, including Trastevere, parts of the city center, experienced blackouts. Unity companies have deployed additional crew to restore electricity, but officials have warning that may time to fully reestablish severe due to extended damage. In the wake of the storm, community spirit has through the volunteers mobilized to assist with the cleanup operations and provide support to those affected. Local organizations have set up temporary shelters to individuals displaced by the flooding. to flood banks and disrupt supplies to those in need. An Italian Red Cross has also activated its emergency response unit, providing medical assistance and coordinated with the local authorities. To ensure the safety and well-being through residents, the community's response have been normally a volunteer for the Red Cross in time of crisis at the critical to come together to support one another. Meteorologists have indicated the severe weather in the parts of a long-term affected the Mediterranean region, with the potential in some storms in the coming days. Authorities are urged residents to stay informed throughout the official channels to prepare to fully disruption. The storm Iran highlighting increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather events prompted calls to great investment in climate resilience and infrastructure. Experts are advocating to improve urban planning to enhance emergency preparedness to mitigate the impact of such events in the future. The city begins the arborist task to recovery, the resilience, solidarity, and the residents' stands and attachment of Rome enduring spirit. But the storm left a trail of destruction. The community shall be forced to rebuild, to restore, provide hope and strength to days ahead. A severe storm has swept across the island of Sicily, causing widespread devastation and significant destruction of life. The intense weather system which struck on the island on the evening of May 18 brought torrential rain, gale force winds, resulting in extensive damage to infrastructure. And local authorities have reported that the storm had left a clear through in several key roads and highways due to flooding and landings. In the city of Catania, one of the hardest hit area, emergency services were stretchered. They limited their response to numerous calls and aid. The city historic center, UNESCO World Heritage Site, and several buildings suffered structure damage, with some streets rendered impossible to. The regional agriculture sector has also been heavily impacted. Farmer plants around Syracuse have reported substantial crops, vineyard cities growth and olive orange. Sicily's economy have been damaged by the yearly estimated suggested millions of euros. In the island, power grid had forced significant strain, with a widespread outage reported. Utility companies are working around the clock to restore electricity, warn that some areas against remain without this. WhatsApp have also erred, particularly in the rural communities where infrastructure have been heavily The storm's ferocity has captured the residents on social media, with drones footage showed streets, uprooted trees and cars being swept away by them. Local meteorologists have been described by the events and the most severe storms on the hit Sicily in years, attributing an intensified to the combination of warm Mediterranean pre-show system moving across the region. Authorities have urged residents to remain indoors and avoid non-essential travel to clean up operations. Schools and public officials in affected areas have been closed, and local government in coordination with the Italian Civil Protection Department to assess the full extent of the damage and plan recovery. In the wake of the storm has not been uprooted solidarity from across Italy. Numerous volunteer groups and non-profit organizations are mobilized to provide assistance in the Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has experienced to government commitment to support the region, pledged emergency fund to resources to aid the sources. The Sicily began from these natural disaster questions and being raising about the preparedness and resilience to infrastructure in the face of increasingly frequent and severe. The island's vulnerability to such storm underscored the urgent need to enhance disaster preparedness and sustainable development strategies to mitigate factors. For now, the focus remained to immediate relief and rebuilding efforts on Sicily. Controls of the aftermath of the storm has left in an immutable recall to landscape. A powerful storm swept through the city of Turin late last night, causing widespread damage, flooding, and significant disruption of daily life. The storm, which brought heavy rain, strong winds, and intense lightning in the most of severe weather events in the city experienced in recent years. The storm with a little warning, beginning the late evening and intensified it rapidly. The midnight, several parts of the city were under several inches of water. Of the emergency service were stretched to their limits, responded to calls. Reports indicate of numerous streets and residential areas have been severely flooded, and a park of the Valentino, a large public park along the border, particularly hard hit. Fallen trees and debris were blocked several major roads, causing traffic chaos during the morning community. Public transportation has severely affected, with the train service deployed suspended in various parts of the city. The city's metro system also experienced partial shutdowns due to the ignition several underground system. Residential in the hardest hit area were evacuated. The precaution with the temporary shelter set up to accommodate those displaced by the flooding. Authorities have urged people to stay indoors and avoid essential travel. travel, non-clean-up operations are underway. The storm caused significant damage to city infrastructure. Numerous power lines were brought down by the strong winds, leaving widespread power outage affected thousands of homes and businesses. Utility companies have been working around the clock to restore electricity. Some areas are expected to remain without power for several days. Several buildings, including residential block, commercial properties, sustained structural damage from the fallen trees and fallen debris. In some areas, damage have been severe. In other rendering buildings, unsafe prompted evacuation to extensive repairs. The emergency service, including firefighters, police, and medical teams, have been working tirelessly to manage the situation. Firefighters have been engaged. The rescue operations helping residents rapid flooded homes include debris from the streets. The local government can activate the crisis management teams to coordinate a response effort to ensure the safety, public safety. Authorities have issued warning about the potential for further flooding and landslides, particularly in hill areas surrounding the city. The Italian Civil Protection Department have been monitoring weather forecast and closely advised to residents to remain vigilant and prepare to additional adverse weather conditions. Despite the extensive damage and destruction, our community has shown remarkable resilience. Volunteers have come forward to assist the relief efforts, providing food, clothing, and shelters and affected to the storm. Local businesses have also pitched offering support to resources to help with the recovery efforts. City officials have promised to communities a response to emphasizing importance working together to overcome the challenges posed by the storm. This has been a difficult time to our city, but the spirit of cooperation and solidarity truly inspiration. As Turin begins an arduous task to recovery, attention is also to the long-term implementation of such extreme weather events. Climate experts have pointed the storm, the magnitude becoming increasingly common due to climate change, underscored to need the better preparedness for the resilient infrastructure. In the coming days, the immediate crisis subsided, but the will through the assistance through drainage system coordinate the force restore normally. For now, the focus remains to ensure the safety and well-being to residents, especially those who have been mostly affected by the devastation storm.